We tried to warn them. They didn't listen.
Yeah!
Every week, the Hoffman Show goes into the belly of the beast.
We read those comments, baby.
Never read the comments.
All right, this is how this works if you're new to the program. We cut up the show every single day, and we put it on YouTube. We stream live on YouTube as well, at the Team 980. All this you're watching, if you're watching it later, you could have watched live. Join us at 4 o'clock every single day. You get to see, and if you're listening, then join us on YouTube, and you get to see the very nice sweatshirt that Anthony's wearing, for instance. There you go. Anthony did a double finger point.
Thank you,
because
Craig.
I was addressing the radio audience who can't see you. Thanks for doing a visual thing. The point is that we put the show on the internet and we leave the comments on. A thing that is probably not good for our mental health, but is good for the show. And boy, the things that we'll do for content. So, folks leave comments at Craig Hoffman and at the Team 980. We go through them and we reply to them live on the radio. So, let's get going. We always start with a bit of an amuse-bouche, if you will. One that just kind of gets us in the spirit. And there was a lot of comments on my defense of Benjamin St Juste earlier this week, Anthony. We titled the segment online, "The Benjamin St Juste Slander Stops Here." And SlimBone1105 says, "This is great clickbait. I'm going to give you a like because this comment section you created is hilarious. Won't waste a single brain cell listening to your video, though."
Good start.
Thanks.
Good start.
The thing is, it wasn't clickbait. The clickbait suggests that something in the video does not line up with the title. No. I made an actual impassioned defense of some of the ridiculous things people were saying about Benjamin St Juste, and that's what the title suggested. Yes, people went nuts in the comments. Yes, it created a lot of conversation. But it was not clickbait. Don't you slander us, Slim.
You don't like that too much, huh?
No.
I think that's a good first comment.
I feel like we're in the spirit now.
Yeah.
I feel like we're good to go.
Yeah.
As for actual comments, the said comment section that he was referencing, Joe Green 40 says, "Thank you. This needed to be said. He's not a number one corner ideally, but it is what it is. Pass rush needs to step up too. Lamar was camping in the pocket all game." The other thing I'd like to say before we get to a comment that is not as kind towards Benjamin, I'd actually like to say two things, Anthony. One, I would like to make a public service announcement about Benjamin St Juste. And that is that his name is said Benjamin St Juste, as in a juice box, as in apple juice, orange juice. It is French-Canadian, or Canadian-French, more specifically. There's no T pronounced. This is something that I myself learned more recently than I'd like to admit because I saw the pronunciation card in one of the broadcast booths at the Commanders Stadium before a post-game podcast. And I was like, oh, it is said St. Juste. So it is Benjamin St. Juste, for everyone who's wondering.
I myself was wondering because I definitely was butchering it. And I just learned that today, Craig. So I will no longer say Benjamin St. Juste.
It's Benjamin St. Juste. Anthony was today years old, and so were many of you. And that's okay. I'm not saying that in a shaming way. I'm just trying to help everybody. If you want to yell about Benjamin St. Juste, you can yell with his proper name. Secondly, Anthony, of the three corners that played on Sunday, I actually think St. Juste played the best of the three. I think St. Juste was probably really close. If you want to grade the pick up and the penalties down, okay, fine. The pick for St. Juste is right place, right time. He absolutely makes the play. He gets credit for it. The penalties on St. Juste, I think, were terrible calls, so I don't count them. But all three guys got picked on in these man-to-man coverage situations. And BSJ did not have mental mistakes, and the other guys did. He just got beat a couple times. And so, again, he is the best they have. The fact that he is the best they have is a reflection of the previous regime who drafted someone to be the number one corner, and that guy is inactive on Sunday. And that's just a reality of the situation. The way you then have to protect these guys, because you know what they are, is with the pass rush. And that is where it failed all three of them on Sunday. And if they don't figure it out against the teams coming up, then other teams are going to be able to do this. And by the way, that starts against Carolina. I think the biggest thing for Carolina is, can the offense go ham on a Panthers defense that is not very good and banged up? So they're not very good to begin with, and then they got worse. And if you do that, then you can just play a bunch of zone against the Panthers and you'll be fine. But that Carolina offensive line is good. They run the football well, and Andy Dalton is the most accurate quarterback against man-to-man defenses in the NFL this season, per Next Gen Stats. Yeah, didn't know that one, did you?
Oh my.
So if you can get up on them, you get up 10-0 early, and then just keep scoring. Then okay, well now they got to pass a bunch. They're in obvious passing situations. Their line becomes less effective. You can heat up some pressures, do some simulated stuff, zone pressures, this, that, the other thing. But I think that you got to make sure that you get up, because if not, and Dalton's out there and they can run the football and all that kind of stuff, then this defense could be in for a longer day. Carolina is not DOA like they were earlier this year when Bryce Young was at quarterback. Okay, now for a comment that is not as kind to Benjamin Saint. What is it, Anthony?
Juice.
Correct. Domo Skywalker 94 consistently brings the bad takes to the comments, but they're entertaining enough. Nah, dude should have stuck to hockey. He did play hockey, something that we talked about in our interview. What was it? I think that one was in last year's interview in the training camp. Anyway, the point is, Domo says, nah, dude should have stuck to hockey because football isn't his skill set. For the 100th time, St Juste is garbage, Craig. There's no logical reason to defend him. He literally hasn't improved at all. His best season was his rookie season, which he didn't finish every year. It's the exact same, exactly the same, exact issues with him. We better address this before the deadline. And I responded, Anthony, with a very simple and straightforward message and basically a meme. Which is, if you don't think he's improved, he being Benjamin St Juste, and I mean this wholeheartedly, then that tells me everything I need to know about your ability to analyze football, and absolutely nothing about Benjamin St Juste. So I said to this person, thanks for outing yourself so we know not to pay attention to you anymore. You lose, you get nothing. Good day, sir. Puts on Willy Wonka hat and walks out. Willy Wonka reference?
Yes. I think that was an appropriate response.
Yeah. Now, just I had to read it verbatim so I could get the Willy Wonka hat tip in there. But the point is, like, Benjamin St Juste, there has been some similar stuff, right? He has been beaten by really good players in the past, and he has been beaten by really good players this season. But what's not happening is the coverage busts and these big mental mistakes where he's not remotely close to playing the right leverages, and he's lost out there. St Juste isn't lost out there. He's getting beat, and getting beat happens. And if you want to watch a guy get beat like a drum a lot this season, go watch the guy that a bunch of you goobers want to trade for. He's on the Carolina Panthers. J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn, also a good player. I'm not telling you J.C. Horn is bad. I am telling you J.C. Horn has given up a lot of touchdowns this year. I know, because in watching my film for Carolina, one of the things I always do in my prep is watch, and this is getting harder because, especially for Carolina, they've given up a lot of these. I watch every single touchdown that a defense has given up. Why? Because I want to know how teams score on them. And the Carolina Panthers, Anthony, are on a historically bad pace from points against. So I had to watch 24 touchdowns get scored against the Carolina Panthers this morning.
Are they on pace as worse as the Commanders' defense was?
From a points per game standpoint, I think so. I mean, I don't know. Was Washington ever last on a historic pace? Because Denver was so bad to start the year.
Denver was ahead of us.
I think Washington was on a historic pace for something. It might have been points. It might have been yards. It might have been both. But currently, the Panthers are giving up 33 a game. The worst ever is 31.
That's bad stuff.
0.8. Yeah, it's like the 83 Colts or something like that. Yeah, it's really, really bad. And a lot of those touchdowns go over the head of J.C. Horn. Why? Because good players get beat by other good players sometimes. And that's football. Getting beat is football. It's a competition. Other dudes get paid too. What can happen is what happened to Frankie Louvu and Noah Igbenogany. I think it was on one play last week, where they both chase after one dude, leaving another dude wide open. Like, you got to figure out who you got in man-to-man situations. We can't double the ball, if you will, and leave the roller to the rim wide open for a dunk. Can't be doing that stuff. And it's the NFL. Figure it out. Yeah, teams are going to put you in conflict. You got to talk through it. You got to have a plan. And that stuff is not happening in Benjamin St Juste. He has rapidly improved. He is giving up some stuff that he is supposed to be giving up comebacks, but not deep balls. So, yeah, did Jamar Chase get him? Absolutely. Is Jamar Chase going to get the pick? Who's the best corner in football, you think, Anthony?
Right now, I'm Pat Surtain.
Would you take if Jamar Chase and Pat Surtain are one-on-one? I'm still throwing to Jamar Chase. I don't love my chances as much as it's against Benjamin St Juste, but I would trust Jamar Chase.
Yeah. I mean, I think in St Juste situation, he was one-on-one with the receiver lining up tight. So that means he has opportunity to go everywhere across the field.
Yeah.
One-on-ones are designed for the offensive player to win. So if he's covering the entire field with no help,
it's brutal.
It's tough. So
it's brutal. And that's when your pass rush has to get home. And the pass rush didn't. Lamar was super accurate. And by the way, I think Logan made a good point. We were talking about this morning, previewing Carolina. Like, Xavier Legette's explosive, the Carolina Panthers rookie. Man, you ever done an S run, Anthony?
An S run? What is that?
So an S run, like, you know the shape of an S,
yeah.
right? So you run like bendy around. So if I were to put like 10 cones in a line and I tell you to weave in and out of the cones.
Okay, yeah.
I watched Xavier Legette last week run a post quarter that looked like that. So post corner for Zay Flowers or for Jamar Chase or for a top elite route runner, super angular. Boom, let's stem the release. Boom, hard cut inside. And just when that corner flips his hips, dagger, you back to the corner. I guess that would be that was post corner the way I drew it up. It's good to go corner post, whatever. Like that's a tough route. Xavier Legette's like the route running precision of the receivers that he's going to face the next couple of weeks. Keenan Allen's an interesting one because he's been around forever, but like those are guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. Crazy athlete, really good, gonna be great, not there yet. St. Juste was fantastic against him. So I think that BSJ is going to be fine unless he's got to face the absolute best in the league, in which case it's going to be tough sledding, and that's why they do need a number one corner. None of this is to say that they've actually got corner figured out and everything's great. It's just like, let's have a little bit perspective when we say like, oh, this guy's not an NFL player. This guy's trash. He's garbage. He's not. He's average. And when you're average, half the dudes are better than you, but half the dudes are worse too. And some of y'all don't, I think, pay enough attention to some of the dudes who are worse. Like, go check, what's his name? Sorry to single this guy out, but Emerson in Cleveland, their number 2 corner, the season that dude's having, oh my God. He had some good games before. That dude's having a bomb scare.
He's having a real bad season. And yeah. I think like building off last season, I think he ended the season well. He had a good rep against Justin Jefferson in the summer. Everybody's talking about the Browns defense, and he has been getting cooked. Wings and things, Craig. That's what we've been seeing in Cleveland. Wings and things.
And things. Now I'm hungry. All right, moving on off the Benjamin St Juste saga.
What's up, kiddos? It's your boy Clinton Yates from ESPN. It's the Hoffman Show on the Team 980. Tell your mama I said what's up.